Hi BookTube, my name is Juan. I am just one reader. I am coming to you with a Friday Reads video, which is actually replacing a video that I posted yesterday. And the reason why I decided to replace that video with this one is because I filmed yesterday's video after having drunk around 16 or maybe 17 cups of coffee. So that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot for the nervous system, and my, let's say, cognitive skills were not up to par. So my video was not quite there yet. So here I am, and I will be singing the same thing that I sang in yesterday's video, because at least that part was very fun for me to film. So I will be keeping that, but I will try to do another version today. So anyway, so this week I finished two books, and I am in the middle of two books and also really looking forward to starting another one. So here's my Friday Reads video. So the first book that I finished this week was The Golden Fool by Robin Hobb. This is, of course, the delightful second book in the Tawny Man trilogy, which is her third trilogy within the realm of the Elderlings. The Golden Fool, just as Royal Assassin and The Madship, which are the second books in the previous two trilogies in this series, The Golden Fool, just like those books, is a book that takes elements of previous installments and really goes into complex, just another kind of complex territory. We follow the character of Fitz and also the Fool, but I would say that it's really Fitz's story. Especially this book centers quite a lot around the character of Fitz. And we get to explore this character throughout the book and throughout the entire trilogy through different aspects of his life. We see his sort of job or his functions in the castle, in the palace setting. There's a lot of political intrigue and negotiations and a lot of spying through dark corridors and peeping through peepholes, eavesdropping on important secret conversations and secret plots. And there's royalty, nobles with hidden agendas, and there's a lot of mysteries, palace kind of mysteries. But there's also, Fitz's relationships with women and with, friendships. Of course, his relationship with the Fool is, oh my God, it's so wonderfully drawn in all of the books in this series. But here in particular, I think we see just so much more complexity and so many more layers and nuances to this character and characters, plural. Really loved it. It was a little bit slow. Actually, it was very slow, this book. It took me a month to read this book, which is not really that long. It's like 630 pages long, so it took me a long while. But at the same time, I was really happy with, just soaking everything up, just, taking everything in. And even though it is a very slow and deliberately paced novel, it really paid off, and I am more than excited to go into the finale of this particular trilogy. So I gave this book 4 stars. The only reason why I cannot give it the full 5-star rating is because there's something in Robin Hobb's storytelling and pacing that keep me from giving it 5 stars, just because when I decide that a book is a 5-star experience, I cannot put the book down. There's something completely unique to the actual experience of reading the book, not just the book itself. So the book itself is solid and wonderful, but the experience, because it was so slow, even though I applaud it for being slow, I cannot quite go with 5 stars, but I absolutely loved it. Then I read The Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling, and this book was just perfectly delightful. It was charming, quirky, entertaining, enjoyable. Of course, it is written for young children, like maybe 7, 8, 9 years old. So I am not the target demographic by any means or by any stretch of the imagination for this book, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you have young children around the house, or students, or people who might enjoy a holiday themed, Christmassy, Thanksgiving kind of story, I think this is just wonderful. It's J.K. Rowling. You can't go wrong with J.K. Rowling's stories. Perfectly plotted, great characters, simple writing, but really, really beautiful story and moral lessons, and it's so enjoyable, so entertaining. I wanted to cry at the end because there's a moment that's so emotional. Just great. It's a great little adventure. Really enjoyed it. I am giving it maybe like a 3.5 star rating because I wanted to give it a higher rating because it really is a great book, but it's for young children and I'm just not the target audience anymore. So those are the 2 books that I finished. Now I am in the middle of 2 very interesting nonfiction books about opera, because if you don't know me, hello, I really like singing. I love musical theater, but I also love opera, and I have found myself in the midst of not 1 but 2 nonfiction books about opera, and the little dicey, gossipy anecdote, hearsay kind of side of opera, because opera is so full of drama, not just on stage, but backstage as well. And that's something that I have always thought, I've always known, but I've always wanted to explore. So these books have given me a lot of that kind of information. So this one is more sort of straight, factual. It's very like hard nonfiction. Like it's very much rooted in hard fact, and it's very journalistic and investigative. This is Molto Agitato, The Mayhem Behind the Music at the Metropolitan Opera by Joanna Fiedler, who worked at the Met for many years. This book, you can see that it's very, very, very like factual. There's a lot of talk about the finances of the Met, the history of the Met, the administration, the running of the Met, the managing side of things. I don't really care about that part of getting to know about the Met, but really what I wanted to get from this experience reading this book was the more sort of gossipy kind of, the mayhem behind the music. That's the subtitle for this book. And there's a lot of that, happily. There's a lot of drama, there's a lot of gossip, there's a lot of gasp out loud moments where you just cannot believe certain things actually went down the way that they did. I didn't know that so many of these things had happened at the Met or around the Met, surrounding the Met. All of these characters, conductors, business people, artistic people, of course, divas, sopranos. There's a Renata Scotto story in here, Kathleen Battle, of course, the tenors, Pavarotti, Domingo, Carlo Bini. Oh, there's so much gossip in here and so many wonderful anecdotes. Very good, and I am halfway through this book. And the other book is Opera Anecdotes. This is by Ethan Morden, and I would say that this is nonfiction with sort of, it has more artistic license, if you get what I mean. Like, you can see that because these are anecdotes and it's pure gossip, pure unadulterated gossip, and Ethan Morton lets you know this is just, some stories that I have heard and I am now collecting in this book. So you can just sort of think whatever you want, you can interpret whatever you want. Did this really happen? Is this some kind of, like weird Frankenstein of hearsay, gossip, fact, memory? Call it whatever you like. I am loving this. So those are the two books that I am reading at the moment, and the book that I want to start probably tomorrow morning is Fool's Fate. This is book 3 of the Tawny Man trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is the finale, and this is significantly longer. This is like 800 pages long, considering the previous 2 installments have been around the 600-page mark. This is significantly longer, which makes me very excited, because usually when that happens, it means that Robin Hobb is going to deliver. This book is probably going to be very slow at the beginning. The start is going to be probably rough. And by rough, I don't mean to say unenjoyable. I just mean like it's going to take its time. It's going to, it's like a ship. It has to be ready. It has to be completely prepared before it sails, and then it gathers speed, and then it's just sublime. I've heard that this is one of the best books ever written by Robin Hobb, so I am filled with hope, and I really think I will love this trilogy overall. It will be in my favorite books of 2021 video at the end of the year. Now, before I go, I promised I would try to sing. My voice is not exactly in the best place possible, but I don't care, because I'm going to make a fool of myself, because, Fool's Fate, the Golden Fool. There's a lot of fool going on in this video, and there's a lot of opera in this video. Therefore, I will be singing this is going to be like a silly experiment. I am going to sing a very silly rendition of Si mi chiamano Mimi from the opera La Bohème by Puccini. And yes, I am giggling and laughing already, because as you probably know, this is sung by a soprano. I am not a soprano, I'm a baritone. I'm not even a tenor. Why am I singing this? It's just for fun, and because I mentioned Renata Scotto in this video previously, there's a great anecdote about Renata Scotto singing La Bohème and some other famous and infamous arias in the book Molto Agitato. So I want to sort of pay an homage to Miss Renata Scotto, a soprano that I think is absolutely delightful. And her particular rendition of this particular aria, Mi chiamano Mimi, from Bohème, is just stunning. So here's just a very silly rendition of me singing soprano. Mi chiamano Mimi, il perché non so, sola mi foi il pranzo da me stessa, non vado sempre a messa, ma prego assai il Signore, vivo sola, soletta, là in una bianca cameretta, guardo sui tetti e in cielo. Ma quando vien lo cielo, il primo sole mio, il primo bacio dell'aprile è mio, il primo sole è mio.
Germoglia in un vaso una rosa, foglia a foglia la spio, così gentil il profumo d'un fior. Ma i fior ch'io faccio, ahimè, i fior ch'io faccio, ahimè, non